Sure, that's good.
Okay, were you ready, Minister?
Yeah, we're good to go. The old straight head, yeah. Well, happy Saturday, everyone. Wonderful to be on the Gold Coast at David Fleay's inspecting this brand new upgraded learning experience. This is a $40,000 upgrade that's been delivered to make this experience even better for the thousands of school students and visitors that come to David Fleay's Wildlife Park each year. We of course know it's been a tough year for tourism operators in 2020, and so we've been working really hard to support tourism businesses across Queensland, whether that's through adventure tourism, whether it's through ecotourism or supporting our business partnerships. We're doing a lot to make sure that those businesses stay afloat, and of course this is a wonderful asset that the Gold Coast and Queensland has to offer. But there are many other experiences across Queensland that we're encouraging people to visit. Of course, our World Heritage listed Great Barrier Reef, we have the Carnarvon Gorge, our national parks, so much to offer here in Queensland. So our message is very clear to anyone wanting to travel that our national parks, that our wildlife experiences are good to go. Of course, we're also particularly focused at the moment on ecotourism as well. As of next year, we will have actually completed around 100 tourism infrastructure projects. But the Tourism Department, the Department of Environment and Science, is working with community to deliver even more. We've got the Wongetti Trail that we've been working on, as well as the Cooloola Great Walk, I should say. That includes glamping. So many really great opportunities to unlock investment and allow people to really experience our national parks in a really fantastic new offering. We've also delivered a great range of products to date. Around here on the Gold Coast, we've got the Narang National Park trails, where there's mountain biking. We've delivered more camping facilities, upgraded camping facilities in that Fleay National Park area as well. We've also partnered with the Australian government and the private sector to deliver projects like the first ever Australian underwater hotel. So there's so much on offer in here in Queensland, so we're encouraging all Australians to come and visit this wonderful place. Happy to take any questions.
Minister, I guess the first thing, I'm not sure if you're aware, but there was another drowning this morning on the coast. Obviously really tragic, 36 hours for someone that obviously lives in the region.
Yeah, incredibly tragic to hear of that drowning this morning. Of course, it is a sobering reminder that people need to listen to all of the instructions coming out of Surf Life Saving Queensland to swim between the flags. We know that there are rough conditions at the moment, so we really do ask people to listen to all of the information that's coming out and make sure that you're taking that on board. We want people to come to Queensland, to our beaches and explore and make sure that they're having a good time, but we want to make sure also that you're having a safe time, so it's critical you're listening to all of that safety information.
There was another fatal crash involving a stolen car, but in Townsville. What's being done to fix this problem?
Yeah, I don't have all of the details of that particular incident. I understand the Commissioner will be standing up in around half an hour, so we'll be able to talk in more detail there. But of course, an incredibly tragic circumstance, and my thoughts are with all of the families.
There's reports the crash involved a carload of vigilantes. What do you say to those who are taking these matters into their own hands?
Sorry, can you
What do you say to those who are taking these matters into their own hands?
Look, it's incredibly important that people are, listening to the rules. That we of course have very clear, rules here in Queensland. We have a police service, in fact, that's growing. We've made a substantial commitment, the largest recruitment in history, to make sure that we're delivering the frontline services that Queenslanders need. And I know the Premier's touched on a number of those matters already yesterday.
Does the state government understand, though, why people feel like they have to take the issue into their own hands? Because there's obviously so much growing anger in a place like Townsville in particular.
Yeah. Look, of course, people want to make sure that individuals who do the wrong thing are held to account. I think we all expect that. That's one of the reasons that we're, of course, having discussions around how we can continue to improve the system, but we're also making sure that we're making that critical investment in frontline services, making sure we have enough police able to respond.
I just have a couple of questions on the Stradbroke Island thing. So given the clear community opposition to a planned Wells skeleton monument at Point Lookout, should there be a moratorium until further consultation is done?
Look, I understand this is a project that's being, delivered by Kayak. Of course, as the Environment Minister, I'm happy to continue dialogue with everyone in that area, but, ultimately I think it's important that traditional owners do have their say on projects delivered, on country, and that's what kayak is designed to be about, that they're making sure that they're making decisions around their land and, making sure that they're, having say over these projects. So I think it's important that we bring people together to have those discussions.
Why is the government supporting development that would detract from an already popular tourism spot precisely because of its natural beauty?
Look, as I said, this is a project that's been delivered by Kayak, who is the registered organisation. So we are listening to the views of the community, but of course we'll continue to do so.
Just on euthanasia, do you support it?
Yeah, look, euthanasia's voluntary assisted dying is a very deeply personal issue for a lot of families. I've been very vocal and on the record about my support for reform in this space. My dad died of cancer when I was in high school, so I have a very personal experience, and I think when you watch someone that you love go through an experience like that, it can't help but shape the way that you feel about other individuals going through very difficult times in their lives. So my view is that this should be legalised. We've seen Victoria do this. I think we can do this in Queensland. I've been supportive, but ultimately it's a conscience vote. So it's a matter for each individual MP to make up their own mind.
Is there enough support within the party, or will this election promise be sort of on?
Look, I understand the Courier Mail did a coverage of this today, and a number of MPs have outlined what their views are. I appreciate some people want to see the detail of that QLRC report, and so I'm hopeful we can, pass this in the Queensland Parliament. I think there's extraordinary public support, but at the end of the day, it is a personal issue. So I do understand why different MPs want to engage their community and they want to make sure that they see the detail.
Currembin Wildlife Sanctuary's in the paper this morning saying that they're struggling to pay the bills. They're getting a lot more wildlife coming through now because of there's a lot more development, some of which is in your electorate. Yeah. Should developers be forced to fork out a bit of money to sort of support these kinds of services when they're knocking out all these trees? Yeah,
look, it's an interesting proposal. Of course, I'm more than happy to consider it. I understand it's been floated with council on the paper today. We are investing significantly across our wildlife hospital network, so that's the Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary and a number of other areas across Queensland who provide that really important service in making sure that we are delivering the care that injured wildlife need. And in fact, since 2017, we've committed over $7 million to that network, so a substantial amount of money. The Premier also announced $200,000 in bushfire recovery money in acknowledgement that we know unfortunately when we have these fires, we do see a greater population of wildlife injured, and so naturally we need to have those resources in place to be able to assist. So we are investing significantly. Of course, would welcome investment, greater investment from other levels of government if they're willing to chip in even further, but we'll continue to work with the hospital. I was just there last week. They do an incredible job, and so do the many volunteers who take on many of these wildlife and care for them at home as well.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Thanks very much.
Great. Thank